Okay, we're live.
All right, the time is now 5:32. We will call this special call meeting of the Calvert City Board of Adjustments to order here on January 9th. First item of business is to recess into a special call meeting into a public hearing in order to hear comments on several variances. I believe we will start with Mr. McHugh, right? Since he is the one that's sitting in the room.
Oh, yeah, Miss Harrell, she's an applicant. Both of them are
She
here.
was still messing with her computer.
Yeah.
We were giving her.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay, I'll just make sure.
Thank you.
What you need from me?
Okay,
All right, so this.
my first thing I need you to do is raise your right hand. State your name.
Calvert Ewins.
You swear to tell the truth. Okay. Just tell them what you're doing, Tim. Basically, I can do a quick rundown right quick, and if they need to
Right.
elaborate. You want me to?
Where I live.
Okay, he's wanting to build an accessory structure and he's got a corner lot. And to put one in to what we would consider the side yard on a corner lot is actually in his front yard, one of his front yards. So he has two front yards, two side yards, but he doesn't have a backyard. So to have one in the front yard, you have to have a variance to go in the front yard. And because this is his third accessory structure and the combined square footage is greater than 50% of the principal, again, it's the other variance. So those are the things. What's the size on the building again?
30.
Okay, and we've got all the paperwork in here. Setbacks are appropriate. If you look at the sketch, you'll see that the 30 to 30 is going closest to Fifth Avenue. And then it will be 10 feet off the property line. That's actually would be considered side yard there. On that side, that would be a side yard. So that's the 10 feet. And then he's 46.5 feet on his property line. Oh, okay, that's.
Yeah, they got that.
Okay, there we go. All right, so make sure you get these names. Okay. So, Tim, if you would tell them about the structure and what you're building it out of and what it's gonna look like, et cetera, et cetera.
It's gonna look like the rest of everything there. It'll match the stuff. You tell them it's gonna match the existing structure that's there. It'll be vinyl side, metal roof. Just like what the house and the other building.
What's the color on that siding? Do you know yet?
Same color as what the house is.
No. I didn't know if it was maybe just a little different or not.
No, everything's gonna be the same color.
Good, well, that good. Let's get them.
All the trim, everything will be the same as what's on the house and what's on the other building. Yes, sir. I started to do it purple and I said, no.
Is that a B2 zone?
No, keeps people from asking us why we're not doing our job.
That'll be definitely some contrast.
Does anybody have any questions on of Mr. McEwen's? Tim, is there anything that I've left out?
No, already.
Okay. You'll utilize the same access points that you have now. You won't need another driveway or anything like that, okay?
Driveway now to be Calvert City parking lot.
Yeah, let's say it.
I'm good.
Okay. All right, that's all we need. So if there's anybody else in the audience that has anything that they would like to comment on?
Right here for that.
Right here to speak to that, or you? Another one. Okay.
Okay,
No comment on that one. Okay.
All right, so I guess we're done with that one.
All right, we will go.
Thank you, Tim.
Look, she made it. Put Miss Carol on the screen. Thank you,
Hey,
Rob.
There we go.
When do I find out if it's approved or whether it's not?
tonight, you hang around.
Jennifer Harold with Roots and Rails is looking
Okay.
to start a.
Okay, I need,
Breakfast. Oh,
I need Jennifer, if you will raise your right hand,
Yes,
state your name,
Jennifer Harrell.
you swear to tell the truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
all right,
she's sworn in.
very good.
So
just go ahead and tell us what you got in mind.
you'll be given
Uh, Just kind of a brief history here, real quick. My grandparents owned Harold's Grocery in the older part of town from like 1944 to 77. It closed. I have since then inherited it. It's not really used for anything right now but storage. My cousin lived upstairs up until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. He moved out. It's kind of got to the point either we had to do something with it or, so that it would continue to stand or just kind of let it go. So we have decided to, our plan is to renovate the upstairs that was originally living quarters, turn it in, split it, and turn it into 2 short-term rentals. And then once that gets up and running, generating income, then we will move to the lower part. And how I've usually described it is to have something similar to a farmer's market on the inside, selling mostly artisan goods, fresh produce. If local people say have honey or make candles or maybe sell some antiques, not really getting in a lot to resell or retail, I guess you could say it, with new products or anything like that. Just mostly artisan goods. And that's where we hope to end up anyway. I will admit we've ran into a lot of obstacles so far, but we are trying.
questions. Okay, I need to, right quickly, before we get going, the actual proposed use should be listed as bed and breakfast, because if you remember, well, the planning commission should remember, short-term rental is considered a bed and breakfast. And so we designate bedding, short-term rental, but it actually is bed and breakfast, in parentheses, short-term rental, because it's defined the same way.
Okay.
That's the actual, so we want to amend the application conditional use to be a bed and breakfast, with comma short-term rental. It's not actually a 2-family
Right.
dwelling. It is a bed and breakfast short-term rental. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We
Yeah,
we
you
have
got a
in
problem with that?
mind, yeah, what we're thinking is like at least a week, because honestly, it's not something we both have full-time jobs, so it's not something where we want to turn around and have to clean every night or something like that. So we were thinking like you would have to stay a week and then maybe up to 2 months, 3 months if we had the right person, in there, maybe even 5, 6 months. But we're looking to capture mostly people, say like workers who come in to work on projects at the plants or like the new locks, trying to hit kind of that type of people. Even something like if someone is building a new home and they sell their existing home before it is completed and they need somewhere to stay for 2, 3 months. That's kind of what we're looking for as far as clientele. So we're perfectly fine as I should have mentioned Cheryl is here with me. We're sitting in a parking lot on our way to a Grizzlies game. So sorry about the lighting if it's a little off.
Parking, yeah.
Okay, that's great. We're just hoping we don't get snowed in at this point. It's gonna all hit about the time we head home. So we have our fingers crossed. But yeah, whatever the terminology is that fits what we're after, we're perfectly fine with that. You know, we've read so many things as far as if they're called Airbnbs or bed and breakfast or rentals. So it's kind of a gray area to us.
Well, this is just the zoning particular portion, and the proper term was, I just want to make sure the proper term was actually applied to the application. So just so you'll know, that's all that is.
Yeah,
everything
we are
else is
perfectly
good.
fine.
I mean, if you
Okay.
look, all those required parking for that particular, you have 2 units, and each unit has got 2 bedrooms, or will have.
Yes.
So that would
Yes.
4 parking places. She's got more than enough for that, so that's not an issue, okay?
Yeah.
Are we addressing the potential retail store?
Not yet. If, well, I mean, we can do, I mean, you won't on it because it's a zoning, it's plain zoning.
Yeah.
We'll take care of that one as far as that goes. That's not required, that's a retail. But the bed and breakfast in this zone requires a conditional use, so. And so that's what we're dealing with at this point. Everything else for her zoning compliance on the retail is fine.
Yeah.
There's no issues with it.
Okay.
She's got plenty of parking either on site or within 400 feet of it as well, so she's good to go.
Well, she stated that too on the record, what it was gonna be used for, so that's covered that.
Yeah, that's correct. Any questions?
All right.
I'm good.
Okay,
All right.
if you want to stay online for a while, they're gonna review that probably in a little bit.
Okay,
More hearing.
Oh, okay. If y'all don't mind us heading down the road, we'll turn mute on and just so we can head on, and then we'll listen, and when y'all are ready, we'll turn it on. Do you have any
There you
issues
go.
with that?
No, it's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Next up, Timothy Hagan for his property at 166 Camelot Drive seeks a variance. Constructs an accessory structure in the front yard located on a corner lot as required by the Calvert City zoning ordinance.
Okay, so
Also, it's the second accessory structure and exceeds 6%.
that's correct. You will raise your right hand. State your name.
Timothy Hagan.
You swear to tell the truth.
Pardon?
You swear to tell the truth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I call your attention on the site plan. You'll see the indication out here, what we have. Basically, it is a second structure, which would be no problem, but the combined square footage is greater than 50%. It barely is, but it is in the front yard because this is a corner lot. There are two parcels here that are being utilized as one, because if you see the other accessory structure is on the parcel to the right of the house. So that is in a front yard, barely, but it is. So that therefore the variance for the 2 different for the front yard and for the second structure greater than 50%. So if you would tell them about the proposed garage that you're wanting us to build and what it's going to look like.
This is gonna be a 28 by 28, right at the end of our driveway. It'll just have 8-foot ceilings, vinyl sided, shingled roof, 612 pitch for light storage. 2 garage doors, facing Camelot Drive, 1 entry door on the left, a couple windows. It's basic and simple.
Now you said 28 by 28. Is that you're varying that you had 28 by 30? Right?
We did, and I've downed it. Brought it down to 28 by 28.
Okay, so you mind if we go ahead and
Don't mind
amend
at all.
that on the application to 28? Okay. Okay.
just stay away from our sewer line and everything.
Gotcha.
Make it a little better.
Yeah, you had a setback there, didn't you?
What's that?
Was there a setback there for that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, yeah. So,
Any questions?
The new building's pretty much gonna match the other buildings on your house.
It'll match the house. Yes, sir.
make sure that these changed on here, 28 by 28. All right, very good. All right. Now, anybody else who wants to talk on this particular one? Yeah, we got somebody else in here. I know there's a family member there. If you wanted to speak on this one or
Give them a
not?
chance.
Okay.
You better not.
Okay.
Y'all
Alright.
know him.
Last call. Anyone have anything else to say of the members of our audience? We'll call this special call hearing to close.
You're welcome. Sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna talk about it here shortly, so if you want to hang
I'll
around.
stick around.
Okay.
Alright.
Sorry about being late.
Oh, that's okay.
We will consider the hearing adjourned. Reconvene into our special call meeting. First item of business is to approve the minutes from the last previous meeting. Do we have a motion regarding minutes?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to approve the minutes as written.
One second.
Andy seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Very good. All right. Let's go down the list in order. Starting with Breach Trails.
You wanna let them, because they're rolling down the road?
Yeah, that's fine.
Get them to get to the
That's where
spot.
we were
Okay.
anyway, so that's what's on the list anyway.
All right.
So. Bed and breakfast
Okay,
over on Aspen Street.
roots and rails.
Any discussion prior to going to the finding of, no, it's a conditional use, so to our question.
Okay.
All right,
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
All right, do you find adequate evidence showing that such use at the proposed location is in fact a conditional use as established under the provisions of Article 7 and appears on the official schedule of uses in Article 11 for the zoning district involved? And I can tell you that it is a conditional use under the Article 11.
All right, Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence showing that such use of the proposed location will be harmonious with and in accordance with the general objectives or with any specific objective of the city's comprehensive plan and or zoning ordinance?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence showing that such use of the proposed location will be designed, constructed, operated, and maintained so as to be harmonious and appropriate in appearance with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and that such use will not change the essential character of the same area?
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles.
Yes.
Mr. Kearns.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence that the use will not be hazardous or disturbing to existing or future neighboring uses?
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory.
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Do you find adequate evidence that such use may be served adequately by essential public facilities and services such as highway, streets, public and fire protection, drainage structures, refuse disposal, water and sewer and schools, or that the persons or agencies responsible for the establishment of the proposed use shall be able to provide adequately any such services?
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer.
Yes.
Do you find that the proposed use will not create excessive additional requirements at public cost for public facilities and services and will not be detrimental to the economic welfare of the community?
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence that the proposed use will not involve uses, activities, processes, materials, equipment, and conditions or operations that will be detrimental to any persons, property, or the general welfare by reason of excessive production of traffic, noise, smoke, fumes, glare, or odors?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
yes,
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence that the intended use will have vehicular approaches to the property which shall be so designed as not to create an interference with traffic on surrounding public thoroughfares?
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns.
Yes.
Do you find adequate evidence that the intended use will not result in the destruction, loss, or damage of a natural, scenic, or historic feature of major importance?
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
All answers are in the affirmative.
And having made those findings, you can have additional discussion or entertain a motion to grant with conditions or deny. And I will say that on this one, perhaps we should have an amendment on the application
Yes.
of, short-term rental to bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast, that's correct.
Okay, any additional conditions we'd like to place on this?
No, sir.
Okay,
I'll
can
make a
we
motion.
make a motion that includes the amendment?
Yes.
To approve with amendment, with
Yes.
application amendment.
Application.
All right.
Yes.
All right. We need a second?
Oh, second.
Gary will
I think
second.
Jim Miller second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good. Very good. Gary was the second.
Yeah, you were to say.
Yeah.
Next up on our agenda, so you want to tell Jennifer that she's
Yeah.
good to go.
Jennifer, you have been approved.
Yes, sir. That's fantastic. Y'all have a great night. Stay warm and be safe.
You too.
You too.
Take care.
Thanks.
Right. Next up, Mr. Hagan's, Mr. Hagan's variance regarding the construction of accessory in the front yard, because he's got two front yards.
Yeah.
Yay.
Which one do you want to do first? The front yard or the?
Yeah, we're just going in order, so front yard.
Very good.
Corner lots are wonderful until you want to build something.
Yeah. All right.
All right, garage, so I think we're just ready to do finding the fact, right?
Okay. Making findings below, the board shall consider whether the requested variance arises from special circumstances which do not generally apply to land in the general vicinity or in the same zone. The strict application of provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or would create an unnecessary hardship on the applicant, and the circumstances are the result of actions of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the zoning regulation from which relief is sought. And that is not the case in this particular instance. And so do you find that granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare?
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity?
Mr. Lyles.
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations?
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns.
Yes.
All answers in the affirmative.
Having made those findings, you may now have further discussion or entertain a motion to deny or grant the variance.
Do I have a motion to,
I'll make motion to grant.
I'll make a motion that we grant the variance.
we'll let Willie have it? Willie makes the motion,
Willie's
all
got it.
right.
I'll second.
Second, Gary gets the second. All right, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. You aye. All right, next one for Mr. Hagan.
Second, yeah.
Second accessory, now his accessories are now slightly more than his
So you're good.
principles.
So that's one thing about these, you only good.
You're good.
One
You're
item
good.
at a
You're
time.
good.
Unless you want to
Combine them.
Yeah, you're good, Cam.
No.
Is this the one?
Oh, yeah, this is.
We haven't done, is this the?
size.
Yeah.
Yes. this is
Yes,
one
that's the
that-
one's going
That was
28 to 30.
temptation.
Would be going to 28 to 30, did that get it out of the 50%?
I
You
thought
said it
you
was
said
close,
Cam.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, it was 57%, so I'm not sure.
I don't think it does. It's close, but no, I don't think
We
so.
might as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I thought you said, yeah, I did not.
All right,
There's
ready,
one more for you. There's two for each of you.
right, ready for findings of fact?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, this is for the second accessory structure. So in making the findings below, the court shall consider whether the requested variance arises from special circumstances which do not generally apply to land in the general vicinity or in the same zone. The strict application of the provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or would create an unnecessary hardship on the applicant, and the circumstances are the result of actions of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the zoning regulation from which relief is sought. Do you find that granting of this variance,
This is not the case, the latter one.
this is not the case, I apologize, no. Do you find that granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare?
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Will not alter the essential character in the general vicinity?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
Mr. Trailer just bumped here for some reason. Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
okay.
Will not cause a hazard?
I'm sorry.
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles.
Yes.
I did not mean to forget about
That's.
it. Will not cause any hazard or a nuisance to the public?
All right, Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
Mr. Trailer.
Yes.
Will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations?
Okay, Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills.
Yes.
All answers in the affirmative.
Having made those findings, you may now entertain a motion to approve or deny the variance.
I'll make a motion to approve the distribution
Okay, this one needs to be as amended.
as amended, excuse me, I apologize.
The
The
building,
And it's
size of the building.
Size of the
28
building, the size of the building being
Reduced.
amended on the variant. We have a motion to approve. All, we have a second?
Second.
Gary will second.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed by the light sign? All right. I've lost track. Now we're ready for Mr. Mugo. Right, is that where we are?
Y'all are good to go. You would, everything was ready.
All right, Mr. McEwen's, accessory structure. One's break on our list there.
Should be at the,
Constructing accessory structure in the front yard because he also lives on a corner lot.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? No? They seem to be good.
Certainly not.
there's a CFP football game to see. That's what's going on.
All right, in making the findings below, the board shall consider whether the requested variance arises from special circumstances which do not generally apply to land in the general vicinity or in the same zone. Strict application of the provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or would create an unnecessary hardship on the applicant. And the circumstances are the result of actions of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the zoning regulation from which relief is sought. And that is not the case in this circumstance. And so this is not a ask for forgiveness later. This is.
Yes.
Okay, so do you find the granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity?
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public?
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations?
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Lyles,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer.
Yes.
All answers in the affirmative.
Having made those findings, you may now entertain a motion to approve or deny the variance.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah. All right, Gary makes a motion. Do we have a second? Jim seconds it.
I had to get one.
All right. Having made with our motion in a second, any additional discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And I believe that's unanimous.
No amendments on that.
No amendments on that. All right, last one for the evening. Mr. McEwen's also makes him 50% greater than, as the third accessory structure, he is not 50% greater than the principal structure, so.
In session, no, okay. In making the findings below, the board shall consider whether the requested variance arises from special circumstances which do not generally apply to land in the general vicinity or in the same zone. The strict application of the provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or would create an unnecessary hardship on the applicant. and the circumstances are the result of actions of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the zoning regulation from which relief is sought. And that is not the case for this. So do you find that granting of this variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare?
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer.
Yes.
Will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity?
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Will not cause a hazard or a nuisance to the public?
Mr. Kearns,
Yes.
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulations?
Mr. Sills,
Yes.
Mr. Trailer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Mr. Laws,
Yes.
Mr. Kearns.
Yes.
All answers in the affirmative.
Having made these findings, you may now entertain a motion to grant or deny the variance.
We have a motion.
It's your turn.
I'm making.
Jim makes the motion to approve. Andy seconds it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. And that brings us to the end of our agenda, and being it's a special call, that's all we can do. I do thank y'all for participating in the process. When we have good citizens making good decisions and good requests, it's as easy and almost feels silly, but. But
Thank you, guys.
thank you. We have a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Jim makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Gary will second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will consider ourselves adjourned and still online for another moment.
At 6:04.
6:04. Not too bad.
So I